Let's do it, Ramon. As we do, Week 16, NFL up to lock. We'll cover the late line movement, the steam. Ramon has some plays. Boy, sometimes I wish I didn't bet a lot on sports because I'm going to be watching Cincinnati, Cleveland very intently because of some of the bets that we have here, Ramon. But I guess that's just what we have to do. Hey, smash the like button. NukeTheHouse.com. Got a free week if you want to join us for the start of the slate on Sunday. Nuke the Holidays is the code. Boys will be behind the paywall 1 and 4 o'clock, so you got to be a subscriber. And then after that, Sunday Night Football, Keg, myself, Iowa. We'll do that one for free. Ramon, buenos dias, amigo. You have been doing this for a while today already. And tell them a little bit about yourself if they're just jumping in on the show late in the season.
Well, I'm only making my 4th appearance on shows today, but it's with you here, Holden, that I'm most excited about. You can catch me over at Sports Money Network 7 days a week, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. I had to rush through it today with some other appearances. You know, I'm just so popular, I guess.
Yeah.
But we give out some plays and stuff like that and cover a little of the landscape. It's not always – I have a monologue. You know, I got an opinion.
You know. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to your monologue, but let's get into this slate.
Not with you, no monologue. The game.
We're going to start with the Falcons hosting the Giants. Michael Penix is in there. Looking forward to your thoughts on what Penix is going to bring. This line was 10, came all the way down to 8.5, I should say. And then money, I guess, moving in, pushing this thing back up to 43.5. I wonder what your thoughts are on that. Total dipped as low as 41.5. Now that's gaining steam, 42.5, 43.5 at some books. Ramon, a lot of movement in the Giants at the Falcons.
Yeah, in fact, the widely reported steam earlier this week did come in on the over, and that seemed to come in after the Penix news. But with that line movement, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of confidence here. Yeah, you're going to get a big spread here in this one with the Falcons such a big favorite here, but I don't know if I can see these offenses putting it together necessarily, right? The switch, if they were so hot with Penix, Holden, why wasn't he in here when we saw already Cousins declining here over the last month? The people were calling for his replacement, 2-3 weeks ago before it actually happened. So I think that they probably have reservations about Penix right now. Obviously, with his contract, you're not going to work him out of there. See what happens next year. But it was interesting timing, I thought, especially after Cousins sheepishly had that post game where he was shrugging his shoulders a little bit. But let's not make it all about that. I'm going to take the under here in this one. And also, with Drew Lock in there for the Giants, probably spending too much time on this game myself. But why wasn't Boyle in? I mean, Boyle was okay. So I don't know.
They didn't want Boyle. Two things on that, Ramon. First of all, they would rather pick up a free agent off the street than Boyle, in all seriousness. That was the emergency quarterback for them. And then the other thing was, I think the Falcons were in a really tough spot. They gave way too much money to Cousins to bring him in. They wanted to give him every chance to go out there and try and win. I think that's why that took so long for Penix. But at this point, Cousins 1-9 touchdown to interception ratio last 5 weeks. It can't get any worse with Penix. It really can't.
All right. If Penix stays in there, obviously they've done something late here in the season and maybe can salvage this still after blowing it here, it felt like. So, all right, enough of that game. But series has gone under in 5 straight. So I'm going to go under.
All right, we got Lions Bears next. The Lions 6.5, 7-point favorites, depending on where you shop. 47.5 is the total. This one came down a little bit at a couple of books, and it went up a little bit at a couple of books. But you look at the side, again, 6.5, 7. It's been there. Interesting to look at BetMGM, though. As I look at that, the spread was 6 earlier in the week. Pushed up to 6.5 this morning, 7 right now. Any movement with the Lions and Bears and some thoughts here, Ramon?
Yeah, I don't think we've seen any major steam this week, but look, maybe the Bears have taken a little bit of sharp action. They've got a good spread record at home this year for whatever you want to say. They're 8-1-1 their last 10 at home against the spread dating back to last season. So somewhere, somehow they're getting these numbers. Now, road favorites are on fire, Holden, in the NFL right now. I mean, it's almost like an unprecedented run here at this point, not only winning but covering. But I don't know, Chicago still won 9 of their last 12 games at home. home over the last season and a half. So I'm going to go over here in this one. Why not? If the Bears are showing some life on offense and the Lions with all these bumps and bruises, and I don't know, we're supposed to feel sorry for them, I guess, but I'm not. They'll probably still find a way to win this game. Maybe the Bears do hang in there. I'll take the over. Maybe it's a backdoor situation here. The Lions have found themselves in that a few times. So I'll try the over in this one, Holden.
Ooh, a little over action. I know there's a lot of guys that are looking at Caleb Williams have a big day today. There's a lot of injuries on that Lions side. So that'll be interesting to see if the Bears can even pull it off, because you remember Thanksgiving, they were down so much. They came back, they made it a game, but ultimately the Lions.
Out of all the crummy teams playing today and trying to get better position, the Bears feel like the team that actually are playing to win a little bit.
Yeah, I get it. I'm right there with you. Speaking of crummy teams, we'll get to that in just a second. Like button, smash it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nuke the House. We got Ramon here. I'm Holden, and we're breaking down these games.
Team, you and me.
What'd you say?
You said crummy teams, and then you said you and me. I was like, we're not the crummy team.
No, we're not the crummy teams. The Titans and the Colts are. The Colts are 4-point favorites at home. This thing moved up. I saw 3.5 quite a bit, and now I'm seeing 4s. So we've got 3.5s. We've got 4s, Ramon. We've got a 42.5 total, which has been pretty sustained across the industry, unless you're seeing something different. Mason Rudolph, Anthony Richardson, Titans, Colts. Your thoughts?
Well, I guess we have to watch this one too, right? So, Holden, look, are you telling me that the half-a-point move basically this week has been on one of the teams that have the worst spread record? I know we talked about last week, but the worst spread record in NFL history. If they can't cover one of these games down the stretch, I want no part of the Titans in this game. That they had some good defensive statistics early maybe, but the Colts with their running game, they certainly, as long as Taylor doesn't drop the ball too early or something, I think the Colts can handle this game. They've had some home covers here a little bit, and they've done well in this series, so I prefer the Colts here in this game. And look, I think if anything, with Pollard ruled in, right, if he is good to go, it is going to be kind of like those games when they had Taylor against Henry a little bit last season, right? I think it's going to be a run control game here for sure, and that leads me to the under. So I'll go both here. I'm going to go Colts and under in this game. 4 of the last 5 in this series have gone under because that's the type of game that they play. Colts usually roll this team. 15 of the last 21 at home against the Titans. That's a 10-year sample size right there. Indy's won this matchup. Tennessee's covered the matchups, but I'm going to still lay it here, even with that hook.
All right. Next one to discuss here, my friend. Arizona at the Panthers. Yes. Whoa. I mean, unless you're in the props market, I think the Connor bets are going to be, his numbers are too inflated to really ladder them. Chuba's there. I don't know how many guys are going back to Thielen this week, but they jacked his props up. The Cardinals, outside of Connor, it's tough to nail anybody down besides for McBride, and McBride's the guy that we're on right now. I don't know how to back the Cardinals on the road at 5.5 points. Yesterday, I saw this sitting at 4.5 at MGM. The total is pretty heavy at 46.5, although we've seen bad teams and bad defenses go over, but man, this is tough to look at here. How do you back the Cardinals minus 5.5 on the road? Tell me.
A lot of the sharps are kind of going over too here, it feels like right now in the game. The move has just been slight by a half a point or so, and maybe the public's leaning over too. But as far as the side, Holden, you're right. The number is just ticked up probably too high. Now, I talked about the road favorites. It's true. I mean, the road favorites are doing really, really well right now. But, the Cardinals here against a Panthers team that Panthers have covered 6 out of the last 7 meetings between these two teams. They're, semi-frequent opponents in the same conference. So, Arizona's been getting the money here a little bit, 5-2 against the spread on the road, but too many points for me now. I'm still willing to take a shot here with Carolina that played their best football here over the last couple of weeks. Pressure's still on. Obviously, Cardinals have a lot to play for and need these wins. It's going to be tough enough just to win this game, much less cover anything by a touchdown here.
Drop your best bets in the chat if you'd like to. It is Nuke the House, nukethehouse.com. We got free NFL articles. We have subscriptions at $59.99 a month, $599.99 a year. If you already used your free trial, you can't do it again. So you can buy a week at $19.99, but you can have a free week if you haven't used the code yet. Nuke the holidays to sign up for any plan there. Rams at Jets, nice cold day. I saw the Tennessee football team go out last night shirtless, getting ready for Ohio State. They got their asses kicked. Rams players going out shirtless in New York. Great report that the Jets have galvanized to come against owner Woody Johnson because he uses Madden ratings for scouting. Anyways, Rams -3 and the 47 is the total here. Do you trust the Jets +3, or is this a stay away? Or, hey, the Rams go in here with playoffs on the line and they win this thing.
All my predictions are actually based on all-night Madden sessions that I finished up about 9 o'clock this morning. So, no, for me, I think Rams here. If I had to go the road favorite theme that I wanted to go on here today, this is the one for me. I'm not ready to go anything with the Jets here at this point. Rams 4-1 against the spread, last 5 on the road here. But you're right, and maybe the cold weather can affect it a little bit. I'm going to come in also on the under in this game. Jets have been going over here a little bit of late, but I don't know. I think the Rams have played some improved defense a little bit as far as staying in position here, giving these guys this NFC West right now. I mean, it's up. We're going to find out today a lot whatever's going on with these teams, but some of them are need to come up with some road wins here. I'm going to take the Rams to get the money in and under here in this one, Holden. I think if you look at the overall move with this game this week, to me, it seems like the move has been to the Jets just slightly here. I mean, we're seeing now 2.5s popping up out here. It's juiced to the Rams, but DraftKings is 2.5 -22 right now. Bet online 2.5 -19. So when you're getting off that 3, that's not something to pass off lightly here. But I'll just take the little bit of a discount with the Rams.
Best bets here this morning. Throw them in the chat. My guy Danny Miller. A couple of guys going for 1,000-yard seasons. Pollard, who's playing. Taylor,
right there, right?
Connor, McLaurin, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson. These are just and then you got Saquon going for the all-time rushing record. So that's another one. I think Saquon's going to be gunning for that one, even though it's 17 games and Dickerson did it in 16. I want to make that clear because I think there should be a distinction. And then Stenberg coming in, dropping his knowledge.
Dissing the dick in here, okay?
Yeah. What is Penix 300+ in the first half, Stenberg? Please let me know what that is. 20-1. Vikings -2.5 from Kegs Made. We could talk about the Vikings.
Here's the thing. If I could just add one thing, we were talking about Penix, Holden, and I know we got to go here, but
no, you're
if
good.
He comes out here. Look at if people. Jeff is not alone. There were a lot of people calling for a huge game. I get it. We're playing the Giants, but if these numbers do happen, look. The Falcons have made another huge mistake, right? Why wasn't a quarterback who might have this type of talent and ability? He still might. We don't know. He's an untested lot compared to these other rookies, right? But if he comes out and does something like that today, we're going to have big questions.
Well, my next question for you would be then, are the Philadelphia Eagles going to go into Washington and curb stomp the Commanders? Now, there's going to be a lot of Eagles fans there. There always are. The Commanders have had a good season, but they have not really looked great as of late. Came out of the bye, squeaked out a win. Total in this game, 46.5, 47. Actually, at BetMGM, this thing was 46 and it moved a point. Did you see that, Ramon? I don't get it.
I mean, the real low openers were, as low as 46, 45 and a half, right? I think generally it was 46, but there's no doubt a move to the over here, but this is a division game, man. I'm expecting knockdown drag out, really, for me, especially you talk about Saquon and how incredible he's been, right? With those target goals. And hey, one thing you can do with the Eagles. You want to keep it out of the Commanders' hands, although the Commanders' strategy here should also be to run the ball, and they can. I think their running game, obviously a little bit underrated with Robinson and such, but both teams can and should run. Now the Eagles are stout defensively against the run, but I think the matchup with the Commanders is okay for their run game, and they should look to do the same thing here. So I've got this one. I've got to think under. When I think of division games late in the season with big importance, I almost always gravitate to the under. And even with as impressive as these teams have been offensively, now I think I got to come in on the under here. And Eagles, they could end up getting the number here, I'm afraid. I think Washington's inconsistencies here. Philadelphia is just laser focused. It feels like right now, and there's no doubt we're in a crucial situation at the top of the NFC.
All right, drop your best bets down here in the chat. We've got a few already. Just to update you on the inactives, Jameis is out, so we got DTR. The actives include Njoku, so Njoku is in. We talked about Tony Pollard going for milestones. Tyrone Tracy's playing today. Zach Ertz, the former Eagle, in the lineup for the Commanders. Hey, guys, smash that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would be great. I got Ramon here. I'm Holden. We've got the boys behind the paywall coming up at 1:15 Eastern, so a little less than 30 minutes away. Subscribers get the premium show with the boys, who are really, really damn good. Browns and Bengals, little rivalry here. I don't know what to think about DTR, but I will tell you this. Joe Burrow is just on a mission right now. What is it, 5 straight games with 3+ touchdowns? The Browns are 9.5, 10-point dogs on the road. Wow, man. I get it. DTR's in there. To me, it's always tough to back the Bengals at a big number, but it is late in the season. 45.5, 46, 46.5 is the total. So you can go anywhere in that way. I don't really see too much movement this morning, but maybe you can find some, Ramon.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the big move came when they, did make the move to DTR, and that jumped it up from 7.5 to 9. Now you're talking about even a higher number. So I don't know. It feels like there is kind of a gradual move here to the Bengals at this point at double digits, and probably wouldn't recommend it, but I'd probably bet it myself. I don't know if that's a pick or a prognostication, but I did bet on the Bengals, but I'm not giving it out on any show. I don't know if I'm giving it out here. Just telling you that I bet the Bengals. If that's an endorsement, but I will take the under here. I have big concerns about DTR in this game. Bengals obviously have a sliver of hope here, so maybe, just maybe, they'll come with a little bit of D, but look, I've tried to support Thompson Robinson in his brief forays. He has, certainly a little bit of an in-game experience, regular season and all, but it just hasn't looked that great. So I think it's a big, I don't want to say a big step down from Jameis, but you're just not going to see the slinging it like Jameis can do, right? DTR is going to be very selective and also use his running for sure. Yep. And I think that's going to end up leading to a low-scoring game that the Bengals will end up probably being able to get this number.
Would you rather watch USA Dodgeball All-Stars or maybe one of these games like what's the worst game we got early on? Panthers, Cardinals, or dodgeball? What would you rather watch?
Well, I don't know. I earlier I actually did see kickball on one of the right, and I was like, you know what? I played that. Maybe I can try the senior kickball tour if these plays don't work out.
Yeah, maybe we can get some action in on that. Maybe it's a weak market. Vikings Seahawks is our next game. The Vikings still got a shot to wrap up the NFC #1 seed. Detroit's got to lose. If the Vikings win out, they get the #1 seed. So we've got the Seahawks at home. Always a tough place to play. Darnold to Addison has been huge as of late. The Vikings, 2.5-point favorites on the road. Lower total at 42.5, 43, Ramon. Again, not seeing too much movement in this one, but we are still, hours away from kickoff.
Yeah, and it felt like the total was bouncing around there a little bit. Look, everybody was kind of critical of. I was on a show and they were a little bit critical of the Seahawks defense. maybe they were just thinking about last week, what happened out of the break when they had those 4 really strong performances. So I think this is the slip-up spot. The Vikings got the hairiest slope, it feels like, here in the games a little bit today atop the NFC standings here. And I think this one could pose a little bit of trouble here. Seattle hasn't been Seattle at home for sure this season, that's for sure. And what can you say? The Vikings, with also with the incredible defense they've had this year, I'm going to end up here on the under in this game, but I got to grab the points with Seattle. I came in here talking about all these road favorites, but still Seattle, they're all alive in the NFC West. So I'm going to have to grab a field goal here in this one. But it was weird. The total definitely went up. I saw it get up to, felt like 43 and a half. Did you say maybe? And then now we're sitting at 43s right there. Yeah, I'm still going to go under in this one. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got our next one. The Bills are 14-point favorites at home against the New England Patriots. I see a 14.5 at FanDuel. Now, the Bills have not, they would push on a 14, but they have not covered 14 in the last 4 meetings. So this is the 130th meeting between these two teams. How is that possible already? 78-50-1, Patriots on top. That doesn't matter about today, but last year it was a 6-point win by the Bills, and the Patriots upset them 29-25. 2 years ago, 12 and 14-point spreads there. It's a divisional rivalry game. News came out that Allen's been playing with a broken left hand this year. I'm throwing pens. 14 is the line. You can get a 14.5 at FanDuel. I haven't seen much movement here either. 46.5, very stable lines unless you see something that I don't.
No, but you're right. There's something about the Patriots still, even since they've been awful. They've hung in these games, it feels like, against the Bills, whether at home or on the road. Yeah, they've ended up on the short end of some of them too, but no doubt, I think the Patriots here with their subtle improvement, I don't know if you can call it that or whatever, but they're one of the 3-win teams also. But if anything for the Bills, right, you can't have the throttle down all the time. Maybe they will because it's the Patriots, but it feels like you need to be prepped and ready for the next stop here. So I'm going to take the points here in this one, Holden. To me, the move here, I only saw 13.5 for the most part. There was a 13 at stations out here in Vegas early on. I guess DraftKings opened it even a little bit lower on the look ahead, but 2 touchdowns. This is the NFL. I usually don't pass on something like that, especially in a division matchup here. So I'll just take my lumps. If the Bills keep it rolling and blowing them out, I'm willing to deal with that. I'll have to take the Patriots here with the 2 touchdowns.
Hey, smash the like button for Ramon. You don't got to worry about me. Nuke the house, nukethehouse.com. Here's what we got coming up. 1:15 Eastern, premium show. The boys going to be live betting the 1 and 4 o'clock slates. Keg, myself, Iowa. We'll be broadcasting live 8:15 Eastern time tonight for Sunday Night Football, which is the Saints and the Packers. Let's get to these last 2 4 o'clock games, though, Ramon.
Bucks and Cowboys. That's Monday night. Or just
Monday night. Yeah, we got San Francisco and the Dolphins. Excuse me. Tampa Bay and Dallas is tonight.
Yeah.
And then Saints, Packers tomorrow. So Bucks, Cowboys tonight. I wonder how many Bucks props we're going to be on. And then Rico the Freako Daddle's been going nuts. But anyway, we got
these flexes. I taped my schedule together in like 3 parts today.
Yeah. So we got 2 more 4 o'clock games. Jaguars, Raiders. I know you got something on this. Raiders minus 2.5 at home. O'Connell's in there. This thing's moved from 1 to 2.5 at MGM. This thing moved from 2 to 1.5 to 2 to 2.5 in the last 24 hours at DraftKings. So Raiders favored at home, 41.5 total, has come up just a little bit as well. Ramon, Jaguars, Raiders. I think you got to play in this.
Not supposed to badmouth the schedule, right? It makes people not want to watch, but you're right. Maybe with the holidays, the better games are on some of those other days. Yeah. You're right. It's not the best schedule here today, but I'm going to, So with the Raiders, right, look, they always talk about, oh, this team needs to lose, this team needs to tank. They're at the top of the tankathon or whatever. But it's not the players, right? It's how the organization sets up the team each week with who gets replaced, right, with injuries, with backups and whatnot. And they're the ones not putting their best effort in here. So I can't see the Raiders wanting any part of this. The move's obviously on the Raiders, even within the last 24 to 36 hours, it feels like, holding up to 2.5 here right now. Good luck to those guys. I've got the Jaguars on the money line probably in this one, but maybe more so I'll look to the over in this game here. Again, I think the teams can be a little loose. Are we getting Aiden O'Connell here, it looks like, and not Ritter in this one? So O'Connell, he is 0-4, but maybe he's a little bit better. Certainly, that's why he's in there over Ritter. So give me the over, though, in this one, but maybe Jags money line here. The Raiders got to make sure they get their man in the draft for sure. And, the Giants, they don't look like they're going to lose. So, they're not going to win. So Raiders better keep it up.
Final.
Hey, you think this is a bad slate? Wait till next week when the only good game on Sunday in the 1 and 4 o'clock is going to be the Packers Vikings, which is great, but every other game is going to be real doo-doo, to be honest, because we got, let's see here. We got Saturday games next week. I think Broncos Bengals will be good, but again, Christmas, Chiefs Steelers, Ravens Texans, four of the teams that played.
Are they playing like a college basketball?
Tournament. What up, Maddie? Good to see you.
I see Matt's got that. He's got that big Penix energy in the chat.
Hey, Niners Dolphins. Last game we're going for. I'm going to dig into Juwan Jennings. I feel like this could be a nice matchup for him today. It is 49ers -2, -1.5 on the road. So the Dolphins are going to be home dogs. The Niners have been a mess with all these injuries. Patrick Taylor will be getting a lot of carries tonight. If you want to bet on a San Francisco running back to the over, I recommend you find a new hobby. The total here, 44.5. This actually came down as the week went on, about a point, I believe. You tell me, Ramon, with the Niners, that the Dolphins, with the Niners laying a couple of points on the road.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Move to the Niners, move to the under for sure. Both took steam here this week. And the move to the Niners was actually that first move, pick them to 1.5.
Yeah.
The 2.5s that are kind of coming up are the 2s here right now. I should keep it straight here. The 2s are coming in here over the last day or two. So, okay, I get it. And I'm not going to badmouth the Niners situation. I'm not saying it's ever plug and play, because McCaffrey, right, is a special talent when he's in there. And yes, the guys from Mason to Garindo, those guys succeeded, but because of the way the Niners run their game, and I don't know, Williams hasn't been in there now, and I don't know, you almost can look at the wins and losses with the Niners, not so much McCaffrey or Purdy or whoever else is out, Debo or Ayuk. It's mostly when Williams is out that the Niners struggle. So yeah, there's the angle here that Shanahan's going to have his eye on McDaniels. He'll know everything that Coach Logic is going to do. But if I've got the right skill players in there for Miami, I'm going to prefer Miami here as an underdog in this game. Both teams are toast here, obviously. It feels like right now, they need to win them all and get help. So that feels to me, I want to take the Dolphins here. I'm disappointed. The Niners have been disappointing. They couldn't clean it up from, I know the injuries were bad, but it just hasn't worked out for them. And there's no doubt the Dolphins are putting up some big points with Tua back in the lineup. Say what you want, but I don't know. What is it? 31-point average over the last 4 victories there. So now I'm going to take the Niners here in this game. And they could end up trading some points here today with the Niners. We might get a game in the 50 range here.
I got my quad box set up. Cincinnati, Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, Giants, Carolina, and the Cardinals. I'll be watching. Ramon, plug your stuff real quick, my friend. You're awesome.
Right. We're ready to go right now, top of the hour. So catch me on the Morning Steam on Sports Money YouTube channel every day, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. We try to talk about every game, talk about the point spread, and maybe give a pick or two. So appreciate you, Holden. Happy holidays. Another trip around the sun for me this week.
Oh, happy birthday. 60, 70, 80?
Thanks a lot.
56. No problem. It's all right. What?
56.
Oh, you're not much older than I am. Good job, Ramon. Way to go, buddy. You're awesome. I love you. Thank you so much for hopping on and helping us out with the NBA show, too, with some college basketball. 1:15, the boys behind the paywall. 8:15, next free show. Me, Keg, and Iowa. 4-1, Ramon. I'm Holden. Let's go nuke that house.